So we are back for the Thursday edition of the SportsMax Zone with cricket, as St. Kitts Association is preparing to elect a new executive body next Monday at their biennial meeting at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel in Bastille. Incumbent Dennis Phillip will face challenges from Val Henry and Calvin James. James, a former first-class umpire and match referee, has thrown his hat in the ring, aiming to further develop the sport, which he says has been stagnant in the last 10 years. James joins us now via the telephone to further discuss his plans. Well, first of all, Calvin, let me start by pointing to a presentation that your team has put out criticizing the performance of the current administration for 10 years of no red ball cricket currently, no red ball league in years, and also no audited financial reports. That just 3 of 10 of the criticisms that you have for the current administration. How confident are you that the points that you are making here will get to the minds of the delegates and vote the present administration out?
Well, greetings, viewers and listeners. I have to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to bring you some updates and information from St. Kitts regarding our upcoming elections. To answer your questions, I believe that it's wide open. The challenges are there, but the folks are now getting information on what's been going on inside. And I believe that was one of the problems I've been having for the longest while. Everything's been covered up. We never had any general meetings, and nobody's been informed of what's happening in cricket. And the result of that, a lot of folks just kind of, move away from the game. We don't have any spectators. We don't have any real participation of players. The club's just trying to get back together. And these are some of the major challenges that confronted us over the past several years.
Yeah, I guess the administration will point to some of their pluses, which includes that they would have, under their governance, gotten Mikael Lewis into the West Indies team as the first Kittitian to play international cricket for the West Indies, which is hugely belated, I would say, Calvin, because much smaller territories, Nevis, Montserrat, Anguilla, have provided players for the West Indies team before, and only now we're seeing a team from St. Kitts, a player from St. Kitts getting in Mikael Lewis. So I would suggest that the current administration would want to point to that as one of their pluses.
And of course, I would like to congratulate the efforts that have been made. But it must be told directly that Mikael Lewis came to my training program when he was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. His dad and myself and 1 or 2 other guys, we had a very vibrant training program at the Bastille High School grounds here in St. Kitts, where we had over 39 kids in training. And the brothers, not only Mikael, you had Jeremiah, and we have another brother, Erickson. All the Lewis brothers were actively involved from a very young age through my mentorship and through my coaching program, along with their dad, who was really leading this. He was the guy that really putting things together, and I was a technocrat. I was the guy that looking at the techniques and bringing them together. And as a result of all these efforts that we made, nobody was looking at the youngsters that we had at the time, And the pursuit of his dad, Jerry Lewis, I think that really have to be commended. So in truth and in fact, now the Cricket Association is coming out as if they really had any major input in his training and coaching programs.
Yeah, can I ask?
And that's what it is. But we want to be commendable.
Yeah.
We have to leave it there.
Yeah,
and say, look, it's a good thing, and we want to wish them well.
Yeah, can I ask you this though, because I haven't been able to get any information on your slate. The other candidate, Val Henry, has put his slate out. I'm not sure if the current administration, led by Dennis Phillip, has put his administration is already in place. But your other challenger for the position, Val Henry, has put his slate out. Is there anything that you can say about your slate and how qualified they are to take this job?
Well, first and foremost, I should let you know that it's not necessarily required for a slate. This is basically something that, hey, you come with a slate and that's it. Is the membership will be voting for the persons that they seem to be desired. However, the issue about putting a slate is no guarantee. You know, I do have a number of persons that is behind me, that have been supporting me, primarily younger folks, and that is where the challenges is, because we have a situation here where the clubs are in the minority for votes. We have 6 clubs, and they are appointed for 2 votes each, which is only 12 votes. And then we have over 120 individuals who are not members of clubs. So in truth and in fact, this is where the disparity is, and this is where the constitution need to be reviewed, because these things are not fair for the clubs who play in cricket, and they don't have any real, you can say within the administration and within the selection and the accountability of cricket and the transparency as well.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about that, though? Because my understanding is that, as we've seen in many of these administrations, the incumbent, the sitting administration controls the machinery. So it is favorable for them to have things in place so they can guarantee votes for themselves, which puts your bid and Val Henry's bid at a huge disadvantage, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And one of the things with that too is that when they're not really adhering to the Constitution, the Constitution gives specific dates when we should have elections. The elections, as you would realize, I think I forwarded a copy to you, where we should have elections of the biannual general meeting, the first Thursday in November to the first Thursday in December. Now we have elections in May. Who authorized them? In order for them to change the Constitution, you need to have a resolution where 2/3 of the majority of the membership present will vote. And these guys just arbitrarily went and they just put the dates in when they feel like. The last 2 years ago, they had it in April the 23rd. Now this year they have it in May the 19th. Probably next year they'll have it in June or September. And these are the problems that we wanted to highlight from the Constitution that they're not being following. This is what the disparity comes in.
Right.
And it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, Calvin, I hear you. When and if that time comes and you are elected, what are some of the plans that you intend to put into place to ensure that there is transparency and all these different things, and of course communication?
Very good question, and I'm glad you asked that question. The first thing that we need to do is to really reach out to every single member that is part of the St. Kitts Cricket Association membership. We need to comply with the Constitution by having annual general meetings, by appointing an auditor, by having biannual general meetings and the dates as specified within the Constitution, and set programs with action plans with a vision of bringing back cricket in the schools sector by having partnership and collaboration with the Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Education, as well as the corporate sector. Nothing like that is really happening until a year of election. They started a few months ago, started to show that they're doing something. Everything was more or less dormant for years.
But Calvin, what would you say your relationship is like when it comes to corporates and Kitts? Because, one of the things is I've sat in this chair many a times and interviewed so many people that want to vie for presidency and everything, and they have like a lot of plans, and then they're elected, and I wonder, what about all these plans they had? So what's your relationship like with corporates and Kitts, and do you think these businesses would be willing to come on board under your presidency?
Well, I always like to promote truth and honesty, transparency and accountability. And I believe that's one of the reasons why you find that they're not getting any response. If you're going to the bank for a loan, the bank wants to know, hey, how your organization, what is your status? And these are the areas that, in my humble view, the St. Kitts Cricket Association had been hiding from. We have not received any financial statement from them. So what we need to do, which we have already plans in place, we need to be transparent. We need to be accountable. We need to reach out to prominent business places within the corporate St. Kitts and the business sector. These things are very, very important, and invite them in. Have them to be part of our activities, have exchanges. Reach out to the ministries of sports. These are the areas that I have observed over the time since my return here from Canada, is that, look, These guys are not transparent. You know, we don't know what's going on. We don't know. I mean, you could ask anybody here who's a member of the St. Kitts Cricket Association when last they have seen a copy or have heard any audited financial statement from the Cricket Association. You know, we haven't seen an audited report, and that is a key component of the bylaws of the Constitution. Key component. It's very unfortunate, you know, that I have to come on your media platform and bringing these things to the eyes and ears of the people around the Caribbean. But it's affected me. It's bothering me for some time, and we don't seem to be getting anybody answering it until we start speaking up. And these are the problems that we're having here, and nothing at all in relationship to moving cricket forward through the schools system. You know,
Calvin,
this is very, very important.
Yeah, I want to go into a touchy subject here, Calvin, because you just mentioned, you know, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Sport and so on. The word on the street is that you, along with Val Henry, are more aligned with the opposition party, the People's Action Movement, whereas the current president is more aligned to the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, which is the current ruling party representing the government. And there is a feeling that it puts them in pole position to keep their positions, and yourself and Val Henry on the sidelines.
You know, I have to smile, but it's a serious matter. Very, very serious matter. I don't know where that word came from, that I am aligned with any political party. Because in truth and in fact, I am here for cricket. I'm not aligned with any political party at all. In fact, I have done business with both sides of the government, three sides of government, not only the People's Action side or not only the Labour side. I also done business with the People's Action Movement, who was the previous administration.
Yes.
So I don't understand why is it the rumors out there. But you know, St. Kitts is a small place, and if you talk to somebody wearing a yellow shirt, you're a PAM. If you're talking to somebody in a red shirt, you're a Labour, and likewise an orange shirt, they're going to say that you're PLP. You know, I don't get into politics. You know, I want to be very, very clear and strong on this. I am a professional. My background in industrial engineering, and I have business acumen, business administration acumen. Okay, I was third in command for Cricket World Cup 2007. Okay, I've worked throughout the region as match referee in senior games, women cricket, Australia, India, South Africa, New Zealand. You know, I've been pretty well active when coming to the match referee aspect of cricket. And I do have a business plan with the current government.
Yes.
That is in place.
Okay.
So I don't understand why these rumors will get out there saying I'm aligning myself with this or with that. That is not for me. Maybe the other guys, not me.
Yeah. All right, we've got to leave it there because we are out of time. We expect that we may continue this discussion on Friday because the election is on Monday, and
That's correct.
and we'd like to get a wider perspective on
Yes.
on things happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis cricket, so that you know our viewers can understand what's happening ahead of the election. But Calvin, thanks for talking to us. It's been a pleasure hearing your views and your plans if you become president, and we hope to talk again soon. Thanks.
Sure. I'll be.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Calvin James there, presidential candidate for the St. Kitts and Nevis Cricket Association election coming up on Monday. We go to break. We'll be back to put the closing parts of the show together.